if you have a siddur, if the people that are connected have a siddur, I'd like to open up to the Ruachum that we say every Monday and Thursday. The 6th paragraph. It says like this: Enka moicha chana v'rachum Hashem Elokeinu. Enka moicha ki'elech hapayim b'rav chesed emes. Oishienu b'rachamecha Rabbi mirash t'meregez atzilenu. Zchol avadecha la'avom Yitzchak v'Yaakov al tefen el koshenu v'nishenu v'chapisenu. Shuv mecharein apecho v'nocheim alaro le'amecho. Okay. Now, we have here an appeal that Hashem remove his charein af from the Jewish people. Anger. We ask him to remove his anger from the Jewish people. Then we have another appeal. Chusa Hashem alamecho, v'atzileinu mizamecho. Save us from your za'am. It's another term for anger. V'osem mimenu makas ha'magefo gzera kosho ki ato Shem Yisrael. So, if you read this paragraph carefully, we'll discern an important principle in HaKadosh Baruch Hu's direction of the world, and I believe that we will be able to learn how we should react to the current global corona crisis. There are 2 appeals which we make to allay the Rebbeinu Shlomo's anger at us. The first is an appeal to withhold his anger, charein af, towards us, and not paying attention to our stubbornness, our deliberate and unwitting sins. The second sort is an appeal that Hashem have mercy upon us, chus Hashem aleinu, and protect us from his za'am, fury, I guess you might translate it, and therefore remove us from any magefo, gzera, plague, and difficult decree. Hashem doesn't get angry as humans do. We use the metaphor of anger to describe Hashem's relationship to us. We say Hashem is angry when he withholds his beneficence from us. This is how Hashem constructed his world. God is the source of good and of all beneficence, but we have to earn that good. We choose to turn towards him by keeping his Torah. He turns towards us, resulting in a flow of good to the world. When we turn away from him by transgressing his Torah, the flow of good is blocked, and evil and suffering develops our world. Our physicality is a barrier which intervenes between us and Hashem. Our choice to come close to Hashem breaks down this barrier. On the other hand, if we choose to violate the Torah, the barrier remains, and God's good cannot flow down to us. There are 2 terms in this tefillah used to describe Hashem's anger, charein af and za'am. They refer to 2 manners by which Hashem withholds his good from man, each as a result of a particular form of man's misbehavior. Charein af is an anger which is the result of man's sins. We say Kriya Shema every day. If we do not obey Hashem's will, his charein af will fall upon us, and the heavens will withhold their rain. Our response to Hashem's charein af is shuvah from our sins. And this is why we ask him in the above tefillah, do not pay attention to our deliberate and unwitting sins. But za'am is Hashem's response to a second way by which we transgress God's will. This is the product of a more fundamental refusal on our part to carry out his will. We refuse to recognize the very reason for our creation. Reaction to Hashem's sovereignty evokes a relationship with him which is called za'am. God's za'am does not bring about punishment in accordance with man's sins, as does charein af. Za'am results in a general destruction of the Jewish people. Its punishment is not abandonment to nature's evil, such as rash and origes, which is the result of charein af in this tefillah. Rather, Za'am's punishment is magefo and gzera kosher. Evil that Magefos, epidemics, Zera Kosher, is evil decreed by the government against learning Torah and davening. These are collective punishments. It is a punishment visited upon all the Jewish people at once. Even where each individual might not be a sinner, he is held responsible for being part of a nation which has renounced its relationship with God. Magefa and widespread punishment occur when the Jewish people decide that their people are there to serve themselves and they eliminate God from their lives. A soldier who is derelict in performing his duty might deserve a fine or even demotion for his lapse. He has evoked the Aharon of his commanding officer. But a soldier who questions the right of the commanding officer to give him orders, deserts his duty, will be punished with something much more severe, with imprisonment or even death by the firing squad. The first punishment is a result of Halinah of his commanding officer. The second is a result of Zam. Magefet, which is the punishment of Zam, causes people to die who under usual measure of punishment would not be considered guilty. But Magefet is a punishment given to the entire Jewish people. Whoever is part of that people is punished for their refusal to accept God's malchus, God's sovereignty. This is why at the end of the Yulachim paragraph above, we continue, we have two prayers. First of all, we say, forgive us, we regret our sins, and we return to you. And then we say, B'chol Hashem, kibinu, B'chol Hashem, v'yachel, B'chol Hashem. We look forward to you as your recognition by all of mankind. The Zam came upon us because we neglected our goal in life as Jews. Its repair is our looking forward to that goal, to a hope that all of mankind will recognize Hashem as the goal of their lives and bow down to Him. We are undergoing a period of Hashem's Zam against the Jewish people. It is a time of Magefa and Zerah. We sit in our homes frightened that we will be exposed to a carrier of Corona. Governments have made a Gezerah kosher against us. Of course, for a good reason. Shivas are closed throughout the world. The sound of Yehesh Meirabo does not resonate from our shuls, wherever they are. Our schools are closed. We have no idea how long this will continue. Closing yeshivas, shuls, and schools is a threat to the future of the Jewish people. We cannot sit by and watch what is happening. We have to take serious stock and make some changes in our lives. We have to rededicate our lives to the goals for which the Jewish people came into existence. We are meant to be a Memleches Karani B'Glei, a holy nation and servants of Hashem. The Rebbe Shalom gave us Yomim Tovim for us to feel the closeness to Him. And what do we do with these holidays? We take trips, go to hotels, where we gorge ourselves with food and fill our day with distractions. Our food and sukkahs are pre-packaged and pre-constructed so that we spend our Yom Tovim without hassle, pre-packed, pre-shipped, to make sure that we have time for what we consider more important things. What are they? Not learning Torah or spending more time davening, but again, entertainment and distractions. Even our Kodesh, the parts of our lives devoted to serving Hashem, need to be readjusted. Do they form the focal point of our lives? We learn Dafayemi every day. Wonderful. We take some time to review it, to try to understand it. We go to Shul to daven. Is davening the high point of our day, or are we daven simply out of rote? We have left and forgotten the goals for which we exist as a Jewish nation. This is very serious. And I would like to make two suggestions that is back on track. The first deals with Kriyat Shema. We have a mitzvah of reading Shema every day, morning and evening. This really should be the focal point of our day. We are recognizing that Hashem is Echad, one. One doesn't just mean one, it means the single purpose of our lives. That is the only purpose. purpose in our lives. Why is this part of davening the one through which we rush more than any other? I suggest that until this corona crisis ends, we should read Shema word by word, perhaps with a truck, and accept upon ourselves that when our shuls return to us, the Chazan will do the same, and the tzibur will join with him as they do in many Sephardi shuls. Davening will take a few minutes longer, but the very fact that a few extra minutes of davening can be a reason for concern is exactly what brings on Hashem Zaham. A second suggestion, the Gemara Menachos and Gimel Medbei says, and this is the halacha in the Shulchan Aruch Siman Membo, that we are obligated to recite 100 brachas every day. The source of this is given in the Torah and in the middle cited by the Bach, that this was instituted by David HaMelech when there was a Magefa which killed 100 people every day. David HaMelech instituted saying 100 brachas a day, and that's how the Magefa ended. What is the connection between brachas and ending a Magefa? This is because a bracha contains in it all the basic emunas of a Jew, basic ideas of faith. The famous Ramban at the end of Parashas Bo says that Yetzias Mitzrayim, going out of Egypt, taught us the basic emunas of a Jew. First of all, by demonstrating Hashem's ability to change the course of nature, he demonstrated that he is the creator of the world and is therefore in control of nature. By showing that he punished evildoers and saved the Jewish people, he demonstrated that he directs history. He's the mashgiach of what happens in this world. Finally, he demonstrated that no one can interfere with his carrying out of his will. Just as Aharon was not able to stop Hashem from taking the Jewish people out of Mitzrayim, similarly, God's ultimate purpose for the world, that mankind will come to the recognition that he is its sovereign, will come to pass, and mankind will not be able to frustrate the carrying out of that will. These are then three principles: Hashem as creator, Hashem as director of the world, and Hashem who will carry out his plan for the world without interference by man. These three principles are expressed by the opening words of every bracha. Baruch atah Hashem. Hashem is written Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, which means Hashem is the source of all creation. Elokeinu, which means that God is the director of the world. The name Elokeinu is also used for judge in direct society. And the one, Elokeinu, the one who chose the Jewish people. Finally, Melech HaOlam, God is in control of the world, who will bring it to his ultimate goal of having mankind recognize him as their sovereign. This is why brachas stop at Magefa. As we will explain, a Magefa comes upon us when Hashem Zaham visits us, when we have neglected to pay attention to the reasons why we're created. Brachas makes us pay attention to the basic emunas of the Jew. Hashem, Elokeinu, Melech HaOlam. Saying brachas with kavanah undoes the Magefa and the Gezerah Kosher which has come upon us. The Gemara Menachos and Gimel Medbei gives the source of Mea Brachas, the pasuk which is written, Ma Hashem Elokecha Asher Imach Ki L'Gilo. What little does Hashem demand from you, except to fear Him and go His ways? Gemara says, do not read, according to Rashi Shah, do not read more. What? But read Mea. More, you read Mea. What justification is there for reading more as Mea? The Shiloh says whenever we have the formula, don't read this but read that, like in Friday night davening when we say Al Tikre Bonayecho B'Loyev. This is to explain the difficulty in the pasuk. How can the Torah say Hashem demands from us nothing more than fearing Him and going in His ways? It's a very difficult task. The answer is, by surrounding ourselves with the brachas, the task becomes easy. Don't read more, but read Mea. If we would say 100 brachas every day, fearing God and going in His ways will be more an easy task. If we say 100 brachas b'kavanah, we will merit having the Magefa end, just as in the case of David HaMelech. Let us not say that these changes are impossible to institute. We're in a situation of a struggle for our existence. We must make some heroic changes in our lives. These two institutions, saying Shema B'Kavona, saying 100 brachas B'Kavona, are small changes which will lead us to greater changes. We have to get back on track, become Mamleches Kohanim B'Goy Kodesh. We must rededicate ourselves to our goals of life as Jews. We cannot permit ourselves to go on with business as usual. We have to make large changes in our lives, but we have to begin with small changes. The Hashem lets us that the Magevah will be beyond us soon. We will return to becoming the nation which makes Torah and mitzvahs the focal point of our lives. And we will be as built in Kenu v'me'era v'yomeinu. We'll be able to eat in Aslochim and Apsochim this Pesach yet, Be'ezras Hashem. It all depends if we are willing to allay the Za'am by overcoming and devoting ourselves and making a focal point of our lives that we are a nation that is Mamleches Kohanim B'Goy Kodesh. Everything in our lives has to be surrounded around Hashem and His Torah. Thank you very much.
The Rosh Hashanah, Chag Kosher V'Sameach.